So we are here today to have a look at the Huawei FusionSolar residential solution. So thank you all for joining us. And we have a really great webinar planned for you today. We're going to show you all about the residential solar solutions. We're going to tell you about some of the advantages and the unique features that make the Huawei residential solutions a great choice for all scenarios to give homeowners energy independence and to lower your energy bills and to say goodbye to load shedding and blackouts. So without further ado, let's begin. All right, so as I mentioned, FusionSolar residential solar solutions from Huawei. And my name is Nick Lusson. I work with Huawei. I'm the Vice President of Huawei Digital Power for Sub-Saharan Africa region. And I'm excited to be here with you today, so thank you very much for your time. And let's begin. So I'm going to start with an introduction to Huawei so that you know who we are and our presence in the solar industry. So Huawei is a very large company. We have over 200,000 employees worldwide. And we are present in over 170 countries and regions. And one thing that I'd like to note that's very interesting is over 55% of our employees are designated in R&D for research and development. And recently, we were the number 5 company in the whole world in terms of investments into research and development. And this is important because it shows Huawei has a very strong commitment to innovation. Huawei is always coming up with new products and features. And Huawei is always a leader in all of the markets that we play in. Huawei does not follow other companies. Other companies follow Huawei. So this is one reason that we're able to come up with great products and features. All of this is definitely true in the solar space as well. And on the left, you can see a graph showing some of our revenue over the last few years. You can see healthy revenue, healthy growth. And the reason that this is important is because in the solar industry, there are often new manufacturers popping up every day. And sometimes they will be promising 5-year warranties, 10-year warranties, even 20-year warranties. But the company itself might only be 4, 5, or 6 years old. So honestly, we don't know if they'll be in business through the life of your solar equipment. But with Huawei, that's not something you need to be concerned about. We're a very healthy company with healthy revenue, healthy growth. We will definitely be in business through the life of your product and your warranty. Now, in the solar industry, we generally look at 3 different segments. There could be the residential segment, which is the small sizes for homes. There's C&I, commercial and industrial, for businesses and warehouses and factories and shopping malls. And then there's the utility scale solutions. These are generally working with the national grids. So we are a manufacturer who is present in all 3 spaces. And we have products and solutions for all of these market segments. Today, we will be looking at the residential solutions. And in the solar industry, we have been the number 1 inverter manufacturer for 8 consecutive years in terms of global inverter shipments. So this is a very great accomplishment that we are very proud of. And in the residential segment, here's a look at some of our achievements so far. We have shipped more than 16.7 gigawatts of residential inverters and more than 1.18 million pieces of our residential battery pack. So this is proving that we have put our solutions in millions of homes all around the world. We have millions of happy customers who are using these solutions I'm going to show you. And this is very strong feedback from the market that our products are high quality and they are actually solving problems, real problems for real families. And when we look at 2021 compared to 2022, Our residential inverter shipments grew by 184%. Our residential ESS, which is the batteries, the shipments grew by more than 300%. And then the PV optimizers also grew by 300%. So once again, this is strong feedback from the market that our products are actually solving problems. So here are the residential solutions. And we have two product families. We have the Power M on the left and the Luna 2.0 on the right. And I'm going to show you these two product families, and I'll explain to you what they do and what are the differences and why these are such strong solutions for all scenarios of residential solar energy. So first, let's look at the Luna 2.0. And I have here on the screen, you can see the different components and some of our design features. So one is aesthetic innovation. We make all our products look very beautiful, but also leading intelligence. These have some of the most advanced features on the market to give you a better return on your investment and better experience. Safety matters. Safety is of the utmost importance, especially in your residential solar solutions, and I'll explain why. Also, these products are extremely reliable. We know that homeowners don't want a solution that requires lots of maintenance or doesn't work when you need it. Also, we have a one-fits-all solution, an end-to-end solution from a single manufacturer. So regardless of your size, your location, or your situation, Huawei has a solution for you, end-to-end solution from one manufacturer, and I'll explain why that's important later as well. Our products are designed to be easy to install, so it's difficult to do a bad installation and for minimum intrusion for the homeowner. We have a new online design tool called Smart Design 2.0, and we have localized service. And I'll explain all of these points and why they are so important to you when you're making your equipment decision. Here is a video.
Introducing new FusionSolar Residential Smart PV solution. We are offering more possibilities to upgrade your energy using experience. This is Emma, your personal energy management assistant, always around. Now, you're never limited by power outage. Whether you see or not, you are being protected. The upgrade of your green power is here. Dream it, catch it, live it.
Okay, so that was a video just showing the whole Luna 2.0 as a package. So let's start piece by piece and explain what each does and why it has great advantages. So here we are looking at the inverter. And the first thing I'd like you to notice is that it's very beautiful and sleek design. So this inverter was inspired by snowbirds surrounding the lake. I'd like you to notice the sleek design, the rounded edges, the rounded corners. There's no sharp corners here. We've avoided the industrial design that many products on the market have chosen. Our products have no screws on. There's no maintenance panel to open. So there's also no LCD screens and no buttons on our equipment. And we've designed it this way on purpose because LCD screens and buttons can only last a few years, maybe 5 to 7 years. But our inverter can last more than 20 years. So we do not include components that will fail first. We call these vulnerable parts. So in fact, with our equipment, it is touch-free operation. You don't have to touch the unit. Your phone is the LCD screen buttons. So again, I'll explain this more later. And what I'd like you to notice also is the beautiful compact design philosophy. So the amount of power that you get for such a small unit is leading in the market. The best power to weight ratio on the market. Many times people see our inverter and they're surprised by how powerful it is. So the newest sizes we have are 8 kilowatts and 10 kilowatt for single phase. This is big enough for almost all homes and almost all families. 10 kilowatt inverter in such a small, beautiful design is really impressive. Next, here is our battery. The battery has been inspired by a waterfall. It is a modular design. So what you can see on the screen is a tower that has 3 batteries. Each battery is 5 kilowatt hours each. So the tower you're looking at has 15 kilowatt hours of capacity. And hidden cables, all the cables are along the side there, again for a very beautiful design. Again, no LCD screens, no buttons, it's a touch-free operation. And what you can see on the right there is our brand new Luna S1. It's a larger size, and I'll also be showing you that later today in slides. Next, we have an accessory here called the Smart Guard. This is a very advanced device because it has multiple functions within one accessory. So we've combined 3 or 4 accessories into this cabinet. We've done this, number 1, for beauty. Again, you can see it matches the other components. Sleek design, rounded corners, there's no screws you can see. It looks very beautiful. But also, by combining 2 and 3 accessories into the cabinet, it makes the installation much easier and faster as well. So this has the function of, number 1, it has the contactors inside. So this will give you a seamless switchover from the grid. So if there is a blackout, you will switch to the solar and batteries in less than 20 milliseconds, which means you won't even know there's a blackout. Your lights won't blink, your Wi-Fi router won't go off, your DSTV won't go off. So you won't even know there's been a blackout, which is great. Also within this cabinet is the power meter. And so this cabinet regulates your export to the grid. So there are some places where you are allowed to feed your solar energy back into the grid and you'll get credit for it. And there are some places where that is not allowed and you should not export any power to the grid. So this device will manage that for you. And of course, at the time of installation, you will know where you are and what rules to follow. And thirdly, this device also connects to your Wi-Fi, which allows you to remotely monitor your performance from anywhere in the world. You'll get access to a free app and also a desktop version if you like. And you can monitor your performance from anywhere in the world. And we have a 4th device here called a PV optimizer. And this is very advanced. This is optional. And you can see there on the left is the optimizer. It attaches to the back of your solar panels. And this device will give you up to 30% more solar energy generation. The way that this device works is that normally when you have your solar panels installed on your roof, you will be limited by your weakest panel. So if you have shadows on one panel, it will affect the performance of all of the panels, even the ones that are in the sun. But now, with this device, the PV optimizer, only the panel with the shadows will be affected. All of the other panels that are still in the sun will be able to give you their maximum production. So this is how this device will give you up to 30% more solar energy. So this is very important and has a huge advantage for homes that have a complicated roof. For example, different angles, different orientations like east, west, and north, south. Also maybe different elevations and different shadow profiles, different hours of sunlight. So if you have a chimney that will cast a shadow, or antennas, or air conditioners, or anything complicated, this optimizer will give you a very good return on your investment. You'll be generating a lot more solar energy. And also, this also has safety features, which I'll be pointing out later in the slideshow. So here's an animation of how this optimizer works. You can see there are leaves on one panel, and all of the panels are affected. The performance of all of the panels is decreased because of some leaves or shadows on one panel. But if you have the optimizers installed, now only the panel with the leaves or the shadows is affected. The others can continue to give you their maximum production. So that is how you can really take advantage of the solar energy. For homes with complicated roofs, and also if you're limited by your roof space, where you really wish you had more panels, but you can't fit them on your roof, the optimizer will give that same additional production. Now here's a look at our ESS, which is the battery. And what I want to show you on this slide is related to our energy optimizer. We have an energy optimizer in every single battery pack. Now, batteries degrade naturally over time. And this is something we've all experienced with our cell phones. Because when you have a brand new cell phone and you charge it to 100%, it can last all day. But after you use the cell phone for a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and then you charge it to 100% again, it can only last half the day, right? So that is what happens with all batteries. Now, in a residential solar application, the same thing will happen. Your batteries degrade over time. And you will be limited, you will always be limited by your biggest battery. So if you have a battery and you use it for a few years, so the state of health is only 80%. And if you connect brand new batteries with your older battery, you will be limited by your old battery. Your old battery will limit your new batteries. So with all other solutions, it's not advisable to mix new and old batteries. However, with the Huawei solution, we have the energy optimizer inside every battery pack. So now, this is no longer an issue. Your old batteries will not limit your new batteries. You can mix new and old batteries, and you won't be sacrificing any performance. So this is really great for homeowners because it gives you the flexibility to expand your capacity whenever you like. You can start today with a Huawei solution, and after using it for 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, if you want to add capacity, you simply add another battery. Your old battery will not limit your new battery. And Huawei is really the only manufacturer that can say this. All other manufacturers will require you to oversize your system on day one because they know you can't add batteries later. So they'll encourage you to spend more money to add more capacity that you may not need because you don't have any flexibility to add later. So once again, with Huawei, because of our energy optimizer, you can add batteries whenever you like. You can mix new and old batteries without sacrificing performance. So this is a very great advantage for the Huawei solutions. And with our remote monitoring app, this is a free app. You do not have to pay for any monthly subscription fee for this app. And you will be able to see the performance of your residential solar system from anywhere in the world. You'll be able to see the current data, the historical data. You'll be able to see any alarms or how it's functioning. You can even input the price of grid in your area, and the app will automatically calculate how much money you have saved by going solar. The app will also show you how much carbon dioxide you have prevented from entering the atmosphere by your decision to go solar. It will also show you the equivalent number of trees planted by your decision to go solar. So all of this is very great information. But there's even more. And we know that lots of manufacturers offer such remote monitoring these days. But we've taken it a step further. First of all, we offer module level monitoring. This means you will be able to see the performance of every battery pack, not just your entire system aggregated. You'll be able to see every device performance. And if you have the PV optimizers, you'll be able to see exactly how every solar panel is operating. And this is a very big advantage for troubleshooting, because now you can do remote fault locating. In a normal solution, if you have a problem with your battery or with the solar panels, with the generation, the maintenance teams will not know what is the problem before they get to the site. They will come to your house and then they will start looking for the problem. And especially if it's on the solar panels, they have to go to the roof and start testing all of the panels. There are many issues that cannot be seen with the human eye, so they will be doing testing. With our solution, remote fault locating, with the optimizers, you can see how every panel is performing. Your maintenance teams or your technicians will be able to see before they get to site what is the problem. That means they can arrive and go straight to the problem. They will be prepared because they bring all the materials they need because they know in advance. So this troubleshooting advantage is very strong. Remote fault locating reduces your downtime, reduces disturbance in the home, increases the performance, reduces the need for site visits. And then we can also do remote upgrades of the software, remote log exports, where you can have a report on how the performance of the system has been, even remote shutdown in case of that you're doing a lease agreement or something like that. So we know that a lot of companies offer remote monitoring, but we take it a step farther. We have intelligent monitoring or remote management. So many features. And as I mentioned at the start, our equipment has no LCD screens and no buttons, because your phone becomes the LCD screen and the button. Anything that you need to do is done through your phone. You do not need to touch the equipment. Now let's talk about safety, because safety is always a concern, especially in residential solar solutions. You're putting at risk your whole family and your assets, everything we love. So generally, when we talk about solar safety, there's two risks here. There's a rooftop fire risk and a battery fire risk. So now let me tell you what Huawei has done to provide the safest equipment on the market. Here's a quick video showing a situation where a battery fire really devastated.
A Burton couple's vowed to rebuild after watching their home of 13 years become engulfed in flame. The blaze was started by a faulty solar battery, prompting an urgent warning from authorities.
This is all that's left of Graham Burke's Burton home, the living room and all his precious belongings gone in an instant. It was 3 a.m. when Graham woke to the sound of a smoke alarm and raced outside.
When I saw the roof on fire, I ran inside, so the house is on fire. My wife ran straight down, woke up our visitor, and they were out the door in no time.
His partner Sue ran to alert the neighbours in a frantic attempt to keep everyone safe.
Well, she was just trying to wake us up, and stuff like that, to let us know the house was on fire. So you wake up and you go, what's going on, and that's when we knew.
Very heart-wrenching, watching what you've spent 13 years building starting to come undone in front of you.
In the light of day, the shocking aftermath. This is where the couple sat just hours before. Everything in the garage, including the couple's Toyota Corolla, destroyed. Investigators say the fire was caused by a faulty solar battery kept inside the garage.
Homeowners that have these home battery storage systems ensure that they keep them maintained and serviced regularly by appropriate service technicians.
The blaze has left a damage bill of around $200,000. Thankfully, though, the owners are insured and have plans to rebuild.
I can deal with it. My wife's very upset about it, but we will rebuild, we'll move on.
Mitchell Sariovsky, 7 News.
So let's talk about the safety features now of Huawei. We generally have separated into two categories: safety above the rooftop and safety below the rooftop. So let's look at the safety features for each category. First, above the rooftop. And we're talking about a panel fire, really. This is the risk above the rooftop, because the solar panels produce DC electricity. And that cable from the panels to the inverter is holding the DC electricity. If there is a weak connection or a damaged connection or a damaged cable, there's a big fire risk, because what will happen is called a DC arc. And if you look at the right side of the screen, there's two animations. And what that experiment is showing, both of them are the same experiment. They are pulling apart the DC circuit and they're showing the arc where the electricity can jump the gap. The problem is that arc can instantly reach temperatures over 3,000 degrees Celsius. Now, you can see one of the animations, the arc remains a long time, and the other, the arc comes and goes very quickly. This is demonstrating our safety feature. The safety feature is called AFCI, Arc Fault Circuit Interruption. And our inverter has built-in feature that will detect this DC arc fault and shut off power in less than half of a second. And that is the second animation where the arc comes and goes. So our inverter will detect a DC arc and shut off the power in less than half of a second. This exceeds all international safety standards. In fact, Huawei contributed to some of these safety standards by showing what the technology can actually do. So our equipment exceeds all international safety standards. This is required in USA and Europe and China and many other countries. And our equipment exceeds the international safety standards. And by the way, based on my explanation, you may have caught that this feature, we are not only keeping our device safe, we are detecting problems that are not our fault. For example, we are detecting problems that could be caused by a damaged cable or by a poor installation. So instead of having your inverter be a safety risk, with Huawei, your inverter becomes a safety asset. You're making your entire home safer, not only within the inverter, but we are detecting problems outside of our inverter. The second safety feature above the roof is called rapid shutdown. And this is a feature of our PV optimizer. And basically, it is talking about the solar panels, once again, above the roof, because the panels have no intelligence. They have no on-off switch. Whenever there is light shining on a solar panel, there will be voltage on the wires. So there is a risk of electrocution, because whenever there is light on the panel, there is voltage, whether you want it to have voltage or not, and whether it's connected to anything or not. Now, for maintenance teams and installers and roofers, this is an electrocution risk, because if they go near the panels, there is electricity that they need to be careful of. But also for firefighters, because if there is a fire and the firefighters arrive and they see solar panels on the roof, if this safety feature is not present, the firefighters know that they are at risk of being electrocuted by the solar panels. So they will not try to put out the fire until the panels are completely burnt. And then they are confident that there is no risk of electrocution. Now, with this safety feature, with the PV optimizers, we can now achieve 0 voltage on the panels in less than 30 seconds. So from full voltage to 0 voltage in less than 30 seconds. This is called rapid shutdown. And this provides a level of safety for the installers, for maintenance teams, and for firefighters. Because now, if there is a fire, and if the firefighters see the solar panels, but if they know this safety feature is present, they can proceed to put out the fire with no risk of electrocution. So we call this rapid shutdown for safe voltage on the panels. And once again, this is an international safety requirement in many countries, USA, Europe, and China, and others. And the Huawei solutions exceed all the international safety standards. Now let's look at below the rooftop. And below the rooftop, we're talking about the battery. Batteries have a risk of overheating, and that can cause a fire. And the problem with battery fires is that they are not easy to put out. They will continue to ignite themselves. They normally take millions of liters of water to extinguish a battery fire. Oftentimes, the firefighters will not try to use millions of liters of water. They will simply create a perimeter around the fire and let it burn itself out over 5 to 7 days. So these battery fires are really devastating. And if you choose faulty equipment that does not have proper safety features, you are putting your whole family at risk. So let's look at 4 levels of protection in the Huawei battery. The first is cell level protection. Huawei only uses the highest quality battery cells that have undergone strict performance testing, strict safety testing. Then we have electrical protection, which is circuit breakers and other safety features to prevent overcharging and overvoltage. Then we also have structural protection because our structure is very strong. It's not easily damaged. It's not easily punctured. It keeps the sensitive materials safe. It's also IP66 rated, which means it's waterproof and dustproof for extra protection. And lastly, we have emergency protection. We have a built-in fire suppression device in every battery pack that will automatically deploy in case of an emergency. So this gives you the highest levels of safety available on the market. But also, when it comes to safety, we can talk about electromagnetic radiation, because all electronic devices emit electromagnetic radiation. There are safe levels and there are unsafe levels. There are also usually international safety standards limiting what is allowed. Huawei is within the safe limits of electromagnetic radiation for all the countries, including South Africa and others. So our equipment emits very low and safe levels of electromagnetic radiation. Recently, it has come to our attention that there are many residential solar solutions that do not comply. So actually, they should not be legally sold in most of these countries, but they are being sold, and they emit unsafe levels of electromagnetic radiation. So this is something to be aware of because long-term exposure can cause health risks, and Huawei emits safe and compliant levels of electromagnetic radiation. And our equipment can work in all conditions, even extremely cold temperatures, extremely high temperatures, even in dusty, windy, sandy environments, high altitude, high humidity, high salt content in the air. All of these conditions are fine. And we have achieved a very low annual failure rate. Our annual failure rate is less than 0.5%. This means for every 1,000 units we ship, less than 5 will have a failure. Less than 5 out of 1,000. So that is extremely low failure rate, which means our equipment is extremely reliable. And one way we've achieved this, as I alluded to earlier, is we have no fuses, no LCD screens, and no buttons. No fuses on our inverters, and no LCD screens and no buttons on all our equipment. Because our equipment is built to last 10, 15, or 20 years plus. LCD screens and buttons can only last 5 to 7 years. So those are vulnerable parts. We do not design our equipment with components that are going to fail within the life of the unit. That is one way we achieve such a high reliability. If you see other products on the market with LCD screens and buttons, you should be very concerned because those are going to require maintenance within the life of your equipment. So for us, we decided not to use vulnerable parts to make your equipment even more reliable. And as I mentioned before, end-to-end solution from a single manufacturer. This is great in terms of commissioning, troubleshooting, and also the warranty. Because on the day of commissioning, it will be very difficult to make sure all the equipment will communicate if you have 2 or 3 or 4 different manufacturers. There are many installations around the world that have one manufacturer for the battery, one manufacturer for the inverter, maybe another manufacturer for the PV optimizers, and a 4th manufacturer for the monitoring system. With Huawei, end-to-end solution from a single manufacturer. Everything can be monitored from a single app. All the troubleshooting can be done in one place. You don't have to troubleshoot for the battery separate than troubleshooting for the inverter. Also, when it comes to warranty issues, if you have multiple manufacturers, this will be a big headache for you. Because which manufacturer will accept responsibility? Each will point the finger at the other. So with the Huawei solution, one company holds all the warranties, one app for all the troubleshooting, and the equipment is built to communicate and work seamlessly. And I'd also like to point out at this time, our Luna solution is compatible with our electric vehicle charger. Huawei has a residential electric vehicle charger, and it's compatible with this Luna system. So yet another component from a single manufacturer, easy troubleshooting, easy warranty support. Speaking of warranties, here is what our warranties are in South Africa. They're slightly different from country to country, so please check your local country, your local warranty. But in South Africa, our inverter comes standard with a warranty of 10 years. However, it has a useful life of 20 to 25 years. The Smart Guard, 10-year warranty. ESS, 10-year warranty. PV Optimizer, 25-year warranty. And our warranties are very unique for several reasons. Number one, we can diagnose our warranty issues remotely. You do not need to uninstall your equipment and send it to a workshop and wait for results. We can diagnose our warranty issues remotely through the app. Second of all, Huawei does not do repairs or spare parts. When you have a warranty issue, it always ends in a replacement payment, full replacement warranty. And the warranties can be done locally. You don't have to send your equipment somewhere else at your own cost and pay to receive your free equipment. The replacement will be done locally. So this is the strongest warranty on the market. And I would just like to challenge you, if you're comparing to other products, look at the warranties carefully. Examine the warranty process. Ask for examples, ask for testimonials, because not all warranties are the same. And here's a look at our after-sales support structure. Basically, we have partners in every region and locality who are trained and capable of providing great support. And we create a ticket on your behalf, and we follow through until the ticket is resolved. So we have a strong process in place for after-sales support. We also have an online design tool that allows homeowners to create better proposals, more standardized proposals. It even does financial modeling to give you more confidence when you're making your decision. Now, I'd like to show you the next generation, the Luna S1. And this is for the battery. The main difference is that each battery is now 7 kilowatt hours each. So we have examples of 7 kilowatt hours, 14 kilowatt hours, and 21 kilowatt hours. I'll be moving quickly through the rest of the presentation so that we can adhere to time. But you can see it's a very beautiful product designed to blend into any home from dawn to dusk. Again, designed to be beautiful, sleek, rounded edges, silky curves. In fact, we've used some of our design lessons from our smartphones to make this a beautiful design product. And it has the world's highest throughput. So this can last up to 17 years. More energy goes through this battery than with any other product on the market. We even have separate components for the cold and the hot storage. So the battery cells need to be kept cool. They are in a separate compartment from our energy optimizer, which needs to avoid condensation. So this gives you a longer life. Also, cable-free cable-free connection, which allows you to install very easily. Very unique design. You can see it has a lock and hook mechanism, cable-free installation. And ergonomic handles, which make it easy to install, easy to lift, hidden cables. This has been designed to be very easy to install for minimum intrusion. Now I'd like to talk about the Power M. This is our separate product family. Everything I've discussed so far is the Luna 2.0. Now the Power M is our all-scenario power backup solution. The first point I'd like to make, again, is that it's beautiful. Frosted enamel finish, sleek design, and you can see the visual power of the video. So it's very easy to use and intuitive. This is all-in-one and modular. So again, the battery packs are modular, just like the Luna. But the difference is here, the inverter is built into the top part. There is no external inverter. In fact, there's no external accessory that you need. Even the communication device is built into this tower. So this tower is all that you need. Modular, flexible sizing. Here are 3 examples that you can use. Once again, you can expand at any time, and you can mix new and old batteries. So if you want to go from 5 kilowatt hours to 10, you simply add another panel, another module. The solar panels are optional, which means you can use this as a strictly power backup device, even in apartments or shops where you don't have access to the roof. Here you can combine 3 towers to give up to 15 kilowatts of inverter capacity, 0.5 kilowatt hours of battery storage. This will give you a seamless switchover. The switchover happens in about 10 milliseconds. No sense of a power outage. Your lights won't blink, your Wi-Fi won't go off, your router won't go off. Silent design. And by the way, this is the same for the Luna. There's no fan. Normally the fan is what makes a lot of noise. Perhaps you've heard this from other products on the market. When it comes on, it's very noisy, like a diesel generator. So our design uses natural air cooling, which means it's more reliable because the fan is a moving part that can fail. And without the fan, this is more reliable and silent. So you can install this in your bedroom if you wanted to, or in the room with a sleeping baby, and no one will wake up. But it's also IP66 rated, so it can be installed outdoors. So both of these units, the Luna and the Power M, can be installed indoors or outdoors. Easy installation, hidden cables, and once again, you get access to the app showing the real-time performance, historical performance, and any alarms or problems. And in South Africa, 10-year warranty, remote diagnosis, so you don't have to uninstall the equipment, and no repairs, no spare parts. Your warranty ends in a free replacement unit. So there it is. That is our residential product family. So we have the Power M for all scenarios, all in one and modular. We have the Luna 2.0, giving you more features, more intelligence, more power generation. And the Luna S1, the larger size, longer life, higher levels of safety, the best residential battery on the market. So, together with Huawei, we want to help you enjoy your energy independence, get more reliable, clean energy, say goodbye to blackouts, and reduce your energy costs in a safe and reliable way. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I'm going to start with perhaps some of the frequently asked questions, because we've done this webinar before. We know what some of the questions may be. So the number one question is usually to elaborate on the difference between the Power M and the Luna. So just to really drill down and nail down the differences between the Power M and the Luna. The Power M is all in one. So there's no accessory that you need because everything is built into the tower. Second of all, the Power M can be used as power backup only. The solar panels are optional. So you can use this as a power backup. And thirdly, the Luna with the inverter separate has better performance, better features. The Luna is a true hybrid solar solution, which means you can combine the solar energy and the grid at the same time. The Luna also allows you to feed into the grid. The Power M does not allow you to feed into the grid. So in certain places, like for example in Western Cape, in Cape Town, there is a feed-in tariff, which means you can generate excess solar energy and feed it to the grid, and you will get credit for that on your energy bill. So with the Luna, you can do that. With the Power M, you cannot do that. Also, the Luna is compatible with our electric vehicle charger, and the Power M is not compatible with the electric vehicle charger. So the Power M is more suitable as a power backup solution and has more flexibility. The Luna has more features and is a more complete and a true hybrid solar system and can help you get your bill down to zero. So I hope that makes it a bit clear about the differences. And so looking at the questions here, so here we have one from Lamek, from Kenya. Very quality products, PV optimizer, energy optimizer, big safety measures. That's correct. So let me just reiterate some of the safety features of our equipment. So the first one is called AFCI. This is a very big one, and it's an international safety requirement. We detect the DC arc fault, and we shut down the power in half a second. So we are detecting problems that are outside of our inverter. We are providing safety beyond the scope of our own equipment. So this is a very strong safety feature. Firefighters love this safety feature, and as I've said, it's required internationally, and we exceed the safety features. And second, with the PV optimizer, we have the rapid shutdown. We can achieve 0 voltage on the panels, even in strong daylight. So this prevents electrocution. And then, of course, with the batteries, we have 4 levels of safety. Our products are the safest on the market. You should really be concerned with safety for residential solar. I encourage you all to take some moments and Google residential battery fires. They're quite devastating. And ours provide 4 levels of safety, including the cell level protection, the structural protection, electrical protection, even emergency protection. So once again, firefighters love the Huawei equipment. It is the safest on the market. And safety needs to be a very big concern when you are selecting your residential solar equipment. So I see a question here. For your all-in-one battery, what's the maximum module that can be connected in parallel? Great question. Thank you. So that, I believe you're referring to the Power M, because that's the all-in-one. So each battery module is 5 kilowatt hours. And you can have a tower with 3 battery modules, which will be 15 kilowatt hours. The maximum you can have is 3 towers. So you could have 3 towers, each with 15 kilowatt hours. So the maximum is 45 kilowatt hours. For the Power M, the maximum capacity would be 15 kilowatts of inverter capacity with 45 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. I would like to thank you all for your time. Thank you for joining. Please get in touch with us. Follow us on LinkedIn. Reach out to us. We're happy to give you as much information as possible. We even have demonstration units and locations all around the world, all around Africa. So get in touch with us. We can do so much for you to help. We really want you to be comfortable and confident when you're making your equipment decisions.